card never declines. Regardless if I got makeup on or not, baby, I'm still a good-looking woman. So we're going to talk about, should women, and thank you, Pastor Wife, to the person who brought this content to me, who brought this idea for content. And I felt like that I did not do it justice, that I did not speak on it in the manner that I should have spoken on it. And guess what? I'm not backtracking. I never do that. Just, if you don't know, now you know. I'm a woman who never backtracks. When I say what I said, I meant what I said. I just need to explain more on what I was saying. That is all. Y'all, let me make sure the connection is good, because I don't want you to I don't want it to constantly pause. And since I'm not, it's connecting me to my home. It's because I'm in my yard. It keeps reconnecting and disconnecting. So let's see. Let's make sure we don't have a problem with my disconnection and connecting, because I don't want you to miss this, and I don't want it to go sideways. First of all, you read the title right. This very particular question was asked to me in my live stream, and I said, if you were there, you know what I said. If you weren't, you are interested in what I said, because I have a reason for what I say. I never say anything because it is social media acceptable. I don't say stuff just because of the fact that, oh, it's going to get me followers, it's going to get me comments, it's going to get me people to like me. That's never been my goal. I've never cared about people liking me on social media. That is not my goal for my page. My page is to give you a look into what it would be when you make certain decisions. That is what my page is. It is for me to bring enlightenment and shine the spotlight on women who live a different way. So let's talk about it. If you're interested, stay. You're gonna need to stay a while. I know. I'm taking some time getting to the topic and answering the question. Why? Because I'm trying to make sure that before I answer the question, that people aren't jumping in and out of the live stream. It's distracting. Stay still. Sit down. I know some of you all have an issue being able to sit still and listen to the content, but this one you do not want to miss. I'm going to explain why I said what I said. I'm never backtracking. I do believe that a person who teaches femininity, if they are overweight, that they should not teach it. Why? Let me explain. The reason for that is when you're teaching femininity, you have to be present in the body. Being present in the body means that you listen to your body. If your knees are talking, if your back is quacking, then you need to be paying attention to your body. So if you are an overweight woman teaching femininity and you're not being self-aware and self-reflective and honest to your community, then I don't have an issue with it. I'm just going to say I would not listen to your advice, because femininity is literally being present in your body. You have to be a person, when you're operating that feminine energy, it's being present. You do not ignore aches and pains. You do not ignore when your body is telling you something. You do not ignore your intuition. Now, if you're overweight and teaching femininity and you're very honest about, hey, I'm still working on some things within myself, and you don't do what I'm doing, I'm just teaching you for what I've learned so far, then yes, I would follow you. But if you are saying that you're a honest to God expert, a guru, that you have conquered and have an understanding of feminine energy, I expect you to come to it correctly. So it's not aesthetic, y'all. I never look at things from an aesthetic perspective. I'm looking at it, are you operating feminine energy, or are you operating what you're claiming that you know a lot about? That is what I'm saying. So some of you who think it's aesthetic, it's not. I don't even believe that femininity is a look-alike contest. It is not a copy and paste. Your femininity is going to look different than mine. My femininity is going to look different from yours. So that is not what it is. And femininity doesn't have a certain aesthetic. It's literally feminine energy. It's the thinking. It's energy. It's the way you move and the way you present and the way you communicate with others. So that is not the reason why I would step back. If you're not being honest with your community and say, hey, I'm working on some things internally. I'm working through some things with me. You can go along with the journey and maybe you'll learn something from me about this particular topic. Then yes, I'll also very much follow you. because you're being honest and very authentic with your audience. But when you are coming at it from a perspective of masculine energy and you're ignoring the elephant in the room, then I can't follow you. That is what it is. It has nothing to do with looks. It's not an aesthetic reason for why I wouldn't follow an overweight feminine teacher. It is because, is she being present in her body? Because that's literally what feminine energy is. Think about it. When you're married, I don't currently am, and I'm married. One of the things about my husband had 2 health scares recently. Do y'all know he didn't want to go to the hospital? Do y'all know he kept telling me about aches, pains, and things that were going on strange within his body, and he was ignoring it? Because that's masculine energy. Masculine energy beings normally ignore the things that's going on in their bodies and try to push through. Feminine energy beings are going to say, hey, my knees are cracking. My back is hurt. I'm having migraines. I'm having headaches. I have outbreaks. Let me pay attention and do the things required in order to make sure that I am taking care of these things. So if you are that type of feminine energy teacher, then yes, ma'am, absolutely, you will get a follow from me, because I know it is more than just the aesthetic. Feminine energy goes deeper than your dress, your shoes, and your makeup. That's one of the reasons why I didn't put any on. But you know what? Makeup is not a crutch for me. My face card never declined, so I'm not concerned about that. It's not a certain aesthetic for a reason why I wouldn't learn from that person. I can learn other things from that person, because, and it's not saying that person isn't feminine. It's just that they're still on a journey to learn more about feminine energy. Because when you are present in your body, you do not ignore the elephant in the room. If something is literally going on in your body, you're going to pay attention to it and you're going to want to correct it. That's being in your feminine energy. When you're in your masculine energy, you're in your head. This means you may ignore what's going on in your body to push through. So that is the reason why it's hard for me to follow a feminine energy being that is overweight. Because I expect her to come and say, hey, I am dealing with something internally and working on this. You can follow me while I go on this journey. But I'm not gonna, you can learn from whatever I learned from it, but you wouldn't come from it as a perspective of I'm a teacher or I'm an expert. Because how can you possibly be an expert in something when you are still ignoring the elephant in the room? You cannot be. And I think we need to be very honest, and y'all need to get out your feels, because this is not one of these things where you are just going based off emotion, because you're thinking, oh, well, just because she is overweight doesn't mean I can't learn anything from her. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying you absolutely can learn from her as long as she's honest about the journey. That is the issue. Y'all have to realize, step back and look at what's currently going on social media. Have y'all noticed the uptick in people just profiting off of these concepts and ideals, but not necessarily actually being these things? That is the issue. So I'm paying a little bit more closer to attention to what's going on, and I see people just profiting off of it, and they're not teaching it correctly. And no, I'm not a femininity expert. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a guru. I'm just a woman who comes on social media, and I give you examples and I let you into my life a little bit to let you see what the difference is between the differences out here between women and how women are living. That is what it is. I don't even have a claim to want to be a relationship expert, a femininity expert, or any of these things, because I feel like it's exhausting. I feel like that's a position of stress, and I don't want any of those type of positions for myself. But I'm not saying a woman who's overweight cannot be feminine. She can be. See, she absolutely can be, especially when she starts to tap into her present being. That is what I'm looking for. If a woman is overweight, I expect her to be tapping into her present being and trying to determine for herself what is correct for her. That is what I would see. I would follow that type of woman every single day. I would follow the woman who is going through something, but she's present and tapped in with her being and saying, hey, I may not be an expert, I may not be perfect, but this is what I'm dealing with. You all can just go along for the journey. You're not exactly trying to be an expert or trying to teach someone, because you're still trying to learn it for yourself. And what I am seeing on social media is there's too much experts, too many gurus, too many influencers, too many prophets, too many things trying to be like, and I don't care about them making money off of it. You should make money off your talents and your gifts. You absolutely should. You should not be giving it away for free. especially if you're moving in your feminine energy. Feminine energy beings are not free. They aren't. Absolutely, you should charge. My thing is when you're charging for the concepts and ideals that you don't even have down yourself. That is the issue. That is the issue with it. So that is the reason why I answered that question in the way that I did. I did not answer that question in a way because I have something against overweightness or people who are dealing with that situation. I don't have an issue. And it has nothing to do with aesthetic either, because femininity does not have a particular look. It doesn't. A woman who's overweight can be feminine. She absolutely can. The thing is when you get to a place where you consider yourself to be a teacher of something, make sure you have conquered what you are teaching. What I mean by that, if you're going to say you're a feminine teacher, you cannot be a person who hasn't conquered being present in the body. Because being present in the body is addressing the things that are currently going on wrong with self. So that's the reason why I answered that question in the way that I did. Remember, I never backtrack. Just to let anyone know, when I say something, I stand on it. I said it in that authentic moment. I didn't explain why, because some people took it as though I was talking about aesthetic. I don't care about aesthetic. You have plenty of women who are very fit, fine, and masculine. So that femininity does not have an aesthetic, but it does have a presence. It does have an energy. It does have a way that it communicates itself to the world. You have to realize these things. And that is the reason why I say that. I wouldn't absolutely take advice from a woman who is overweight because of the fact that she cannot teach femininity from her present self unless she's honest. If she's honest with her community and her audience and saying, look, I am going on a journey. I am trying to tap in with my present self and really release the feminine energy being that I am. And I want my audience to learn from my experiences. I'm going to come to social media and show you and talk about my experiences. But when you don't do that and you ignore the elephant in the room and you ignore the issues that you're dealing with, even if it is obesity, you ignore, you act like it doesn't matter, I have to question if you should be teaching femininity. You have to realize femininity is being present in your body. This means as a feminine energy being, you could never possibly ignore that your knees are quacking, that your back hurts, that you're suffering from migraines, that your skin is full of acne. You cannot ignore these things being a feminine energy being. You have to address the elephant in the room. You have to pay attention to these things. And this is the reason why I say that majority of women are operating in their feminine energy. This whole illusion that we don't have women that are feminine isn't correct. Because think about it. Most women are the ones in the household who make sure that most people go to the doctor. If it wasn't for women, men would never go to the doctor. How do I know? I'm a wife. And most of the men that when I was dating and also becoming a wife myself, most of the men would not go to the doctor. They ignore what's going on in their body. They can have a whole outbreak on their face. Oh, let me go ahead and just cover it up and keep it moving. They can have their knees cracking and aching and their back out of pocket, and they will still get up, go to work, make money, and build. That's masculine energy. Masculine energy ignores the elephant in the room. They try to pretend that it is not happening. Feminine energy, you want to address what's going on in the room, be present. You want to have that emotional awareness. That is what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about having a feminine energy teacher, if she's showing me all of this, then I have no problem following her. I have no problem following. I don't have a problem following a feminine energy being that can say, hey, I got something going on here. I'm taking care of it. You all can go along for the journey. I want you to just learn from my mistakes. That is a teacher. Honestly, that is a true teacher. A person who is not coming from a place of being an expert. A person who wants you to learn from their mistakes and their experiences. Not even claiming being an expert. I think it takes years to become an expert at anything. Y'all, I'm not even old enough to be an expert. I'm not. It doesn't matter about how long you've been married either. It takes a long time with wisdom and time to become an expert. So I'm not even claiming to be a relationship expert. This is the reason why I tell you all the time, if you follow me, you're going to get a peek into my life. But you also going to be able to see other situations with different women, so you can determine and see which one is going to be the perfect situation for yourself. That is so true about me. It is, because it's masculine energy. When you're in your masculine energy, you ignore the elephant in the room. You tend to push through. You ignore your emotional needs. You ignore what your body is telling you. You ignore your intuition. You only pay attention to what you're thinking. And that is masculine energy. That's the reason why I kind of doubt a woman who's overweight and teaching femininity. I doubt that she is coming from an authentic place, because she has to be authentic in her body. She has to be present in her body. You do not ignore your knees are hurting. You just don't. You do not ignore that your back is hurting. You do not ignore that your skin is breaking out. You do not ignore that your hair is falling out. You do not ignore that your body is reacting to the environment. You do not ignore your mental instability. You don't ignore these things. Being authentically feminine and in your feminine energy, you cannot teach and ignore. That is the issue with me. It has nothing to do with aesthetic. I think the conversation of aesthetic is not a authentic conversation. I have to actually talk and explain it from where I am thinking. Because when people saw that video, they thought I was thinking about the aesthetic. Or you think that femininity has a certain look. It doesn't. It doesn't. Femininity comes in all shapes and all sizes. What happens is when you teach femininity, you want to get someone who's actually going to be present in the body and going to teach you from that perspective. They're not going to let the elephant in the room be there and ignore it. They're not going to go with social norms and ignore what's going on in their real environment. They're really going to be like, hey, I have something going on. As you can see, I am, dealing with my weight and all of my emotions. I'm not exactly teaching you all. I am showing you all how to deal with these specific things and be present in the body. It's how the person is presenting themselves. Are they presenting themselves where it's just about taking advantage of the social norms, taking advantage of society's ability to make money online? What is the reason? Because if you're going to charge for femininity, please make sure that you're charging and coming from an authentic place. That is what it is for me. So hopefully everybody understands my thinking. My thinking is this. How can you be present in your body and ignore the elephant in the room? How can you be authentically feminine and then teach other people when you're not looking or presenting femininity in the manner that it should be? That is where I pause. That's where I stop. I cannot, I've long ago stopped following just anybody to follow. Just because they're popular on social media. It takes a little bit more to get my follow. If you actually look at who I follow, y'all realize I don't follow a lot of people. And there's a reason for that. Because when people follow me, they tend to follow whoever else I'm following. So if you're going to follow me, I want you to be following authentic people. And that is my thinking on it. My thinking on it. If you were to think on it and stop and get out of your emotions and feels and the social norms and what's acceptable and how you can get canceled if you say the wrong thing, think about it. Is this person authentically teaching from being present in their body? Because how can you be present in your body and ignore your aches, your pains, your mental anguish, and the things that are happening within your body? Trust me when I tell you, when you're operating your femininity, and that's one of the reasons why I lost weight. Because I was present in my body and I realized that, hey, I don't feel well. My knees hurt. My back hurt. My mental stability is degrading because I don't feel as confident as I used to. So I paid attention to all these things. And that is what true femininity is. It's being present in your body and doing what's best for you. If you're getting people who aren't letting you see that side of femininity, then they aren't going deep enough. I'm not going to say they're teaching you fake femininity. I'm going to say they haven't gone deep enough. Because you have to realize on social media, there's a side of femininity that's only based on the aesthetic. It's only based on the look, the dress, the makeup. It's not based on the energy and the self. It's not based on being present in your body. So I have one question for you. For some people who didn't get what I was saying, because some of y'all think, I am not that, what is the word for it? I'm trying to think of the word for it. I'm not socially conditioned by social media. Okay, I'm not this person that's going to get in line because it is the correct thing to say. Honestly, I am glad that I've gotten this far. You know why I say that? Because I feel like eventually I'm going to get canceled. Eventually I'm going to get counseled, because I don't say the things that is appropriate all the time. I say how am I truly feeling. I'm coming from an authentic place. I'm not coming from that mean girl energy just to tear somebody down. I'm not coming from, I just want to make a person feel bad. I'm coming from the place of, if you're teaching authentic femininity, have you addressed the elephant in the room? Have you addressed your own situation? Have you talked about, hey, when you're feminine, you need to be present in your body. You don't ignore things because it's acceptable. You don't ignore that your knees hurt because people are glorifying obesity. You don't ignore because your back hurt because people are glorifying obesity. You don't ignore because your self-confidence is taking a hit because people are glorifying obesity. Because that's truly what's in. If we want to be honest, and let's go ahead and counsel me now, I guess what, right? Like I said before, eventually I probably will get counseled, because we have gotten so far away from being able to have true thinking and being authentic that it's crazy. But you cannot accept the social norms of what's acceptable and say that it's feminine. You can't. We have to actually be very authentic and present in our bodies and think about what is right for ourselves. You can't ignore what's going on with your body. And that is where I'm coming from. I'm not coming at it from a perspective of aesthetic. I'm not coming from that perspective. I would never be that shallow. That's the word I'm looking for. Because I think y'all think that when you're dressed up, and you're always dressed up, and you're always talking to women from a certain perspective, that I'm coming from a place of being shallow. I'm never shallow. I think I'm past that point of labels and having to look a certain way for social media. I'm very much past that point, because I'm very much past the age of me caring about it. That's the reason why I know eventually I will get canceled for my authentic thinking. And I'm okay with that. But if the person isn't addressing the obesity issue, and they're just riding the waves of social norms, then I doubt that they are being in their authentic feminine self. I doubt that they're coming from a place of being present in their bodies. Because you have to pay attention to when your doctor tells you that you may need to lose weight. You don't ignore that. That's what men do. Masculine energy will ignore it. Y'all know how many times my husband went to the doctor and they told him that his sugar was high and that he might need to get that under control. Y'all know how many times he ignored it? You know why? Because masculine energy doesn't worry about being in the body. It worries about being in their brains and thinking and building and creating and making that legacy happen. They don't pay attention to these things. So when I come across the feminine energy teachers, and they're not doing these things, they're not addressing these things, and they're riding the waves of social norms and social conditioning, that brings me to a pause. Okay? So I want you to realize it's not me ever being shallow. I don't care about the aesthetic of everything. Y'all look at my Instagram page. If I cared about the aesthetic of everything, do y'all see what my page look like? It's a mess. It's a whole mess. It is a whole mess. I don't care about the aesthetic. I care more about being authentic, showing and presenting women with information that's going to help them excel and enhance their life. And you need to see all sides and all versions of women to determine what's going to be correct for you. Because I'm not asking you to be like me. You may not want to, and that's okay. I'm asking you honestly to be better than me. I tell my girls that all the time. I want you to be better than me. I want you to do better than me. I want you to achieve more than I did. I want you to do everything better. I don't have a complex, but I want you to be just like me. I'm not trying to make copies. Because femininity is literally not a copy. It's authentic. Let me see what everybody's saying. I've just been saying, because it's just weird to me. Like, if you know me, you know me. Pedestal-wise, y'all know I'm not shallow. I'm not shallow. I like to come on social media made up, because that is my normal. I dressed down today because I just don't feel like getting dressed. I'm tired. We're going to have a laid back day of videos. Me and the hubby today. And since the pedestal wife brought this up on my live stream on Friday, I thought, hey, why not? This is a great conversation. I've seen overweight femininity coaches just casually mention that they're trying to lose weight every now and then, but they're still overweight years later. Is this acceptable? No, because with feminine energy, you're going to get better. Okay, you're going to get better. Like wine, you're going to age and get better. You're not going to stay stagnant. So it's interesting to me that they mention it, but they don't do anything further. Because you know what? It gets very easy to ride the social norms of obesity. Obesity is glorified. It just is. I think this is just a Western viewpoint. Femininity is vast in all forms. Absolutely. Which I've said that. I've mentioned that it is vast. It is vast. But when it comes down to it, being present in your body is still feminine every single day. You should still be connecting with yourself to figure out what is correct with you. Now, I know the question becomes, what if she did get in her body and say, this is fine? You all, I'm going to be honest, as a former, well, I ain't going to say former, a girl who has dealt with obesity myself, your knees are going to hurt. Your back is going to hurt. Things are going to be happening within your body that you're going to need to correct. So I would doubt that everything is fine on the inside. I would doubt that everything is honky-dory. There's no way. And I think that we should never be glorifying and just riding the wave of social norms of obesity anyway. Because it does so much damage on the inside. The thing is, I'm a little older than a lot of you all. And I can tell you this, the older I get, the more that I've noticed that the women who have suffered with obesity, they are so sick. They are suffering from health issues. Some of them are, you would think instead of being in their early 40s, that they are in their late 70s. And that's scary. And that should be something to have us pause on just riding that wave of social norm and acceptance. Because that's what that is. I'm not saying make them into a pariah. I'm not saying, they should be exiled and go to an island. I am saying that how can they teach femininity when they're not present in their own bodies? They're not present in their own bodies. And guess what? Femininity is new in the Western field, but it's not new overall. It's not new overall. Overall, it's more along the lines of energy. It's more along the lines of being present in the body. It doesn't even have anything to do with men. But of course, we're here now, right? We're here now. It has nothing to do with men. It has everything to do with you being as a woman and being connected with self and being connected with your faith and being connected with spirituality. It's so many aspects to femininity that the West doesn't even have. The West talks about just the aesthetic purposes of it and how it's going to help you with men. But really, femininity is actually for women. And it's hard to actually find a femininity coach that will even teach it from that perspective. Because they know that when they teach it from just that perspective, that they won't get women to pay attention to the content. I don't think it's a Western viewpoint. I'm not from the West originally. And back home, women feel uncomfortable being overweight outside of everyone else. It takes a toll on the body. It does. Y'all, one of the things I post to you, look around. How many 80-year-olds that are overweight do you know? How healthy are they? That is the issue. See, I'm a little older than most of my followers. And I would never be mean to someone because they're overweight. That's never that. Like I said, I'm not shallow. This has nothing to do with aesthetic. It has everything to do with health and being present in your body and not forgetting that you need to be good to yourself. Be good to yourself first before you're good to everybody else. Honestly, and then the thing is, let's go a little deeper, because it wouldn't be me if I don't. Honestly, when I look at overweight women, I know that you're not being good to yourself. I know you're not being present in your body. I know that you're rushing around doing everything for everybody else. I know that you're highly stressed out. I know that you're not able to rest in your femininity because you're too busy taking care of everybody else. See, that is the example that we need to pay attention to. I'm not saying that I hate overweight or obesity or anything, because some people have health issues. Some people absolutely do health issues that prevent them from losing weight. I've met a couple of people. When you get a little older, you learn things, You see different things and see things from different people's experiences. So that is out there, but it's very rare. It's very rare. So when we're talking about this, having this conversation, it's never from a shallow or aesthetic point of view. Never. It is from the perspective of, I can tell that you don't rest. You cannot possibly be in your feminine energy in that position. Because of the fact, how can you, when your body is literally screaming at you that your knees hurt, that your back is hurting, that your mental isn't where it needs to be at. Your entire body tells and keeps score. I read an interesting book. Well, I'm reading an interesting book called The Body Keeps Score. You might want to read it. It's by a doctor. It talks about the trauma that happens to us. It creates physical symptoms within our bodies. And this is the reason why a lot of us don't realize that everything you've went through, it may not show on the outside, but there's a mark being left somewhere. It's a very deep book. If you're interested, I talked about it on my YouTube community tab, and you can get the entire author, because I can't remember the author right now. But I want you to know that I never look at the aesthetic or be shallow about it. Never that. I want you to just think deeper when it comes to this type of content, because that's where it's supposed to be taught. When I learned femininity, I didn't get the Western viewpoint of it anyway. I never paid attention to the Western viewpoint. If you actually look at the people that I suggested about femininity, they are not from America. They write the best content. They write the best best information for femininity. They give it from a perspective of being present in your body and putting out energy in the world to communicate femininity, versus putting on a dress, makeup, and heels to let people know that you're feminine. Most people in the Western, I live in the West. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Most people in America, they judge you about femininity based on what you got on. And that doesn't tell the complete story, because you can completely have a dress, heels, makeup, and be the least feminine woman in the room. So when I see people teaching it from that perspective, I back away even further, because I already read I think that they have a more authentic version of femininity, and it's not people who write from the America. I've never seen a good one from this the authors from America, honestly. If you have some, y'all can suggest them to me. I'm always open to correction. I'm always open for, communication and dialogue, and, maybe a different perspective, but I just haven't found one. If you have one, you can let me know and suggest it. I'm very interested in it, because I'm always learning. I would never present myself as an expert, because I'm not. I'm learning daily. I'm a student. I'm a student of life. I teach only from what I know of the experiences that I've had, and what has helped me to be successful as a provided for princess, because that's pretty much what I know I am. I'm a provided for princess, and I teach from my perspective and my experiences. I am not an expert. If there's something that you don't agree with on my page or my content, you can always take what I give, create your own sauce, and go into the world and live your life. But that is what my perspective is on that. It is not about aesthetic or being shallow. It is more about, are you teaching from being present in your body? Are you ignoring the elephant in the room? Did you address it? Did you tell them, hey, I am going through something here. I want you to see my journey. You can learn from my journey. Or are you just immediately going off of, I'm an expert of femininity, but I haven't taken care or addressed my own issues, but I'm selling content, or I want you to follow me in it. That's the biggest difference for me. That's the biggest difference for me. I look at, when I'm thinking about women, I don't even look at, I done got out of the thing of looking at what a woman looks like. I don't pay attention to what she looks like, because I've met plenty of women who believe themselves to be operating in feminine energy, and they're absolutely drop dead gorgeous. They're absolutely fine and fit. That is not what I look at. I look at how your energy is communicating and presenting itself to me. I look at, are you very self-reflective and being present in your body? I look at, will you make decisions? Are you making it from a perspective of what is good for self, or what is good for everybody else, or what is socially acceptable? I'm looking at, are you just following the norms? Because there are norms of society, and if you don't follow those norms of society, you are basically exiled, canceled. And like I said before, baby, I don't know how I got this far without being canceled. I don't know how I got this far without being canceled, but I'm okay with it. But I look at it like that. Are you being present in your body? Because I can speak on this because I was an overweight woman. If you go look at any of my pictures, I was overweight myself. But the thing is, operating feminine energy, you're going to be present in your body, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, my body is trying to tell me something. And that's the thing. We've gotten so far from listening to our bodies that when your intuition tell you something, you don't even listen. Y'all intuition be going off like alarm clocks, and y'all be ignoring it because you're so focused on what society is telling you or what is acceptable or what's the norm that you don't pay attention to what your body is telling you. Everybody that's walking around, you have the answers to your questions. Your body will tell you. Your body will give you the answers. You don't need anybody else. But you have to be present and connected with self. Once you get there, then you can make all the decisions. It's always going to be the right move for you. So that is what I pay attention to. Is this woman teaching femininity from that perspective? Is she present in her body? Is she being self-aware and self-reflective and honest with her community and audience? Is she saying, look, I have things going on myself and I am dealing with these things. You can learn from my journey and my experiences. And is she teaching from that perspective? Y'all don't understand. So many people get into the business of social media because they want fans. They want people that like them because somebody didn't like them growing up, and this is the opportunity to get popular. This is an opportunity to get people who like them. And I'm telling you all, be very careful. Your intuition will tell you everything you need to know. If your intuition told you that, hey, that she's coming from because she's hating, then baby, go with God and go with love. Trust me when I tell you, I will never be mad, and I never will be sad from losing followers or people who pay attention to my page. I will never be that, and it's okay because I'm really testing your thinking here, and that's what I'm supposed to do. As I can't even call myself, I like to say an elder, but I can't be an elder because I'm not experienced enough yet. Maybe when I get to a certain age, I'll call myself an elder. I'm not necessarily an elder. I'm literally in my early 40s. I'm not an elder yet. But I can say I'm an experienced, provided for princess. And I can tell you this. Feminine energy is being present in the body. Masculine energy is being present in the mind. This is the reason why you get with men, when he's in his masculine energy, he doesn't think about the symptoms of the body. He thinks about the results and the action of it. He doesn't think about the body and the symptoms. You, as a feminine energy being, you're going to be the one who's going to always push him to go to the doctor and pay attention to the symptoms because you're feminine energy being. That is what women do. This is the reason why I reject the notion that women aren't feminine. They are. Now, you might be rusty, but all women are feminine. All women are feminine. Because if you're a woman who listens to the symptoms and you listen to everybody's symptoms and you be like, go to the doctor, baby girl. Why you ain't went to the doctor yet? You're in your feminine energy. Because it is in our wheelhouse to be authentic and be present in the body. And to push people to pay attention to the symptoms. To not ignore it. We don't ignore the elephants in the room. We are very in tune with our bodies and present with our energy. And we pay attention to these things. We already know that everything is a sign. When you're operating that feminine energy, everything is a sign. Even me popping up on your social media feed and you decide to listen, it's a sign. Even going on social media or looking at some type of content online, it's a sign. Everything is a sign because you're present and in tune with energy around you. That is feminine energy. That is me coming from the authentic feminine being that I am. And if women aren't teaching it from that perspective, and the only thing they can teach you is how to walk, talk, communicate, and get men in that feminine energy, then they are not teaching you from all sides of femininity. And that is my issue. I'm starting to really pay more attention to the women who only stick to the social norms of femininity. Because guess what? Being a feminine energy being, you're not going to be always popular in what you're saying. because you're going to be authentic in what you're saying, and that is a difference. You might even get canceled, maybe more than once. But when people are with this fake and falsehoods of femininity, they're trying to ride the waves of social norms. They're not going to tell you, hey, I probably did the wrong thing or said the wrong thing. Okay? I honestly, I don't have a problem with apologizing if I'm wrong. But if I know that I'm coming from an authentic place, baby, I said what I said, and I'm going to stand on it. That is who I am. I'm to the age now, I have no fear of social media, of a person that is walking around with the same human skin that I have on. I am more fearful of the man above than I am with people that have 2 legs or 4. Okay? But we have to actually start looking for deeper versions of femininity, because I don't think it's out there. Not in the way y'all think it is, because I know there's a lot of really big people who claim to teach femininity, but that it's only surface level. And the surface level is what's going to get us in trouble. This, oh, put on makeup, oh, put on a dress, put on heels. Nothing wrong with that. I love all those things too. Come to my page any day. Come back another time, and you're going to see some heels, makeup, face, everything. Face speak to the gods. But trust me when I tell you, my face card never declines. So that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. Y'all, my neighbor would go ahead and start pushing. That's not my neighbor. No, that's not him. He's getting paid to cut the grass because, yeah, that's not my neighbor. I don't know him. I don't know. That's a stranger over there. But yeah, that is the reason why I said what I said. If you didn't watch the video on my YouTube, go watch it. Well, that is my neighbor, okay? He's really dressed down today. Okay, he like me. We all feeling kind of like laid back today in the neighborhood. Okay? But femininity is being present in the body. You cannot not teach from that perspective and call yourself an expert on it. So it has nothing to do with aesthetic. It has nothing to do with looks. It has nothing to do with makeup. It has nothing to do with fragrance. I noticed that in America, when you get to these femininity instructors and influencers, they stay there, and I want them to rise and become better. That's what I would say. This is a call for you to become better. If you teach it, become better in teaching it, because we want more from you. We want you to actually be a leader and an expert in it. You cannot be a leader or expert in it if you're not being present in your own body. And you need to be teaching from that perspective. And then you need to teach people how to connect with their own bodies, to be present in their own selves and not rely on you for information. Because that's another thing. Y'all, you're not supposed to be connected to these people forever. Forever, ever, and forever, ever. That's not the way these things work. They're supposed to be able to pour into you, and you level up and you evolve. And you go beyond their teachings. That is the way this works. You should not be stagnant. You should not be stuck. You should have an understanding and move on to the next level. But the way things are being taught, and the way y'all are being breadcrumbed, because that's the word, right? Some of y'all are being breadcrumbed. Y'all don't even recognize it. One thing is, and I'm so happy that I've been blessed with the gift of intuition. One of my feminine gifts is intuition. And I pick up very well based off, I can watch a video of someone and their energy is enough for me. Energy, not what they're saying, because I'm not paying attention necessarily to what they're saying. I'm paying attention to the energy that's being communicated to me. And I'm paying attention to what are they present. I'm paying attention to, can they help me evolve? Can they help me level up? Can they open my thinking? I'm paying attention, are they trying to stick to social norms because they know something is popular? I'm paying attention to are they just trying to be trendy? Because some people are just trying to be trendy. They're just trying to get a coin. And I'm paying attention to, are you being authentic? I want to make sure that when I'm talking to you, or when you're having a conversation on social media or whatever, that you're authentic. So that is my reasoning. My reason is that I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on it. Be respectful of your thoughts, because trust me when I tell you, I protect my energy at all costs, and I block. I block. I do not just allow people to go willy-nilly and go ham on my page. I do block people if you're very disrespectful. If you have a different opinion, I don't have a problem with that. That is also a sign of a person who don't mind being a student and learn. I don't mind hearing if you see things from a different perspective. I just see things differently. I'm looking at from it, are you being authentic with your audience and community? Are you being present in the body? Are you saying, hey, I'm going and dealing with things? And you're being authentic in how you're dealing with those things so that we can learn for how you're dealing with things, because there's a lesson from that. And that's the reason why, y'all, I pretty much love when I see women that go on their journey, their weight loss journeys. I love that. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I love that, because to me, that is the ultimate form of loving your feminine energy. Is when you do that and you're connected with self and you're learning about what works with your body and what you can eat and how your body is going to thrive and how your body is going to get all the nutrition that it desires. I love that, because I believe that is the best love letter for femininity to your body. I believe that's the ultimate love letter to your body, is when you're taking care of it. And when I see these femininity influencers and experts, and then they're not doing that, I believe that they're doing a disservice to their audience and their communities because of it. Because when you are on that journey, and tell me if I'm wrong, because some of you have been on these weight loss journeys too, you have an ultimate connection with self. You can identify when a food is doing well for you or when it's triggering your system. When you get that deep in loving yourself and loving your body and being present in the skin that you're in, you can tell when a food is a trigger or inflammation to your body. That's the level of femininity that people need to be teaching. Not this shallow version where we're just looking at the aesthetic version of it all. And that is one of the things I have learned being on my journey of weight loss, is I can tell when something is inflaming my insides. I can tell when I am having a reaction to a certain meal or a certain snack or something, because I can feel the inflammation. I am so in tune with my body and so present there that I can tell. And that's what needs to be taught. When you start doing the work on self and that inner work, it helps you to lose weight, because you are so connected and present within your body. You can tell when something is harming you before it starts showing physical symptoms. That is the level of teachers that you need. You don't need these teachers who need symptoms, signs, writing in the skies, smoke signals, in order for them to get the signals that the entire universe, that God, that source is telling you. They need to be so connected that they can eat something, but ooh, they didn't sit right with me. I can't eat that no more. I got a whole list of foods that I cannot eat that literally would inflame me from the moment that I start eating it. That's how connected you're supposed to be as a feminine energy being. Then when you're that connected, you're able to hear what's the next move for you. I ain't gonna say you don't need other people. I'm gonna say you don't need other people's direction, because you can feel and internally know what's the right direction for you. But that's a different level of connection and femininity that we don't talk about, that we're not having conversations about. So I would love to know your thoughts, and I would love to know what you think about this topic, because it's important. I might even post it to Instagram. Y'all know I don't normally post my own content to Instagram. I don't know. I decide. Y'all let me know. Should I post it to Instagram or should I post it to YouTube? I don't know yet. But I think that we should start having these conversations. It's very important. When you're operating your feminine energy, you literally can tell when a food is harmful for you. You literally can tell when a man is harmful for you. You can tell when your friends are harmful to you. You can tell when you need to leave immediately because you're in danger. You don't need signs. You don't need somebody to start flashing a gun. You don't need somebody to start acting crazy. You start getting a feeling like, hold up. I just walked in. What's wrong here? You start itching under the skin and you have to leave. That's feminine energy. That's the level of femininity we need to be taught. That's what we need to be taught. It gets deeper than your makeup, your clothing, and your shoes that you wear. I love those too. Hopefully you do too. Apparently you probably love those too. I love those too, right? But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than makeup. It's deeper than clothes. It's literally to the point of when you go into a room, you will know if you belong in that room or if you need to exit. It's deeper than if you are having a conversation with somebody and you'll have this feeling or indicator that maybe you need to say this particular thing. And then you say it, and this person shows you who they are. And you're like, my gosh, I wasn't even planning on saying that. But something said and gave me a little nudge, I need to say that. That's feminine energy. But how can you get to this level when you only got people to teach it from the aesthetic or shallow end of the pool? That is the reason why I'm very careful about who I take advice from when it comes to feminine energy. And I'm still learning. I am still learning. So just imagine when I become an expert on it, y'all. Just imagine when I become an expert on it. Now, why I don't even want the moniker of expert for relationships, dating, any of that stuff. I'm not an expert. I just like to talk about my experiences and what helped me to become a provided for princess. And maybe what I know can help you, and you can become a provided for princess yourself. Isn't that the goal? Or maybe the goal is something else. Maybe you have a different goal. I don't know. Y'all, I'm tired of talking to myself. Y'all gotta start talking back to me, or I'm gonna have to go. I need to run anyway. But I felt like it's a beautiful day, and I need to address and explain and go a little deeper in the content so you all will know what I was talking about. You have to realize I never look at anything from the shallow version. I'm never looking at it from the shallow end of the pool. I'm literally always thinking deeper, or looking deeper, or looking for being authentic. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being present in your body. And do you have to be feminine all the time? No. It is a myth that you're going to be feminine all the time. You need to be have your healthy masculine energy and your healthy feminine energy. And you want to make sure that you're dealing with femininity instructors or influencers or experts that are telling you have to be an expert in both. Learn both. Remember, femininity is the body and your mind is masculine. And you need to be an expert in both. So I would love to know what are your thoughts. Y'all have to talk back to me if you want me to continue to be up here, because I'm getting ready to go. Oh, she looks so cute. I love that yellow on her. So pretty. I love those flowers across the street. Y'all, I would show you my flowers, but my flowers died. Your girl ain't got no green thumb. I got to kill them all thumb when it comes to plants for some reason. My roses used to be beautiful. Now I think we done had too much rain. They done been rained out. So I got to get some help with them. But I'm tired of talking. So I'm going to get ready to go because I have to run some errands. But thank you all for spending some time with me. I appreciate you so much. Hopefully that gives you more of an understanding of where I'm coming from, and realizing that I'm never looking from the shallow end of the pool. I'm always thinking deeper and differently, because that literally is something that I pride myself on. I pride myself on thinking differently and deeper than what other people do. So I'm never looking at it as, oh, it's an aesthetic issue. It's not an aesthetic issue. It's a present issue. Is that person being present and teaching from that perspective, or are they being present in their thinking and teaching from that? Are they thinking along the lines of let me be and do what's going to be socially acceptable so that I can benefit and profit off of it? Or are they teaching women so they can be better, level up, evolve? Because you cannot become better unless you challenge your thinking. I don't know if y'all realize that. If you continue to follow the crowd, you're just going to walk off the cliff with the crowd. If you don't follow the crowd and decide to take your own way, you'll be a whole lot more successful. If you start thinking of yourself and thinking outside of the box and stop trying to be like everybody else and thinking along the lines of social norms, you'll grow. You cannot grow if you're not challenging your thinking. If the only thing you do is surround yourself with people who think like you, you're only going to go beyond what everybody else around you thinks like. And hopefully, I probably challenged your thinking today. I don't know if I did or not, because like I said, I don't see any comments. I don't see anybody saying anything. But hopefully oh, y'all, I'm sorry. I apologize. Y'all been seeing something? And I didn't go any further because I am outside in my car. Let me go and see what y'all was commenting. When I was studying nursing school, I developed a pain in my back. I'm just now getting PT for it because it carries stress in my body and realizing it's important to address. Absolutely. Yes, provided for a princess. Absolutely. Chloe Hypergamous Hive is a good influencer. I like her too. But I'm never quick to just follow. But I will check out more of her content on Instagram. I know her content on YouTube. Okay? You definitely keep it real. I feel more in touch and have clear action when I engage with your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Y'all engage with my content before they cancel me. Some people have an expiration date. Absolutely, they do. Hi, gorgeous. Hello. Hi. Exactly. Respect is a must. Absolutely. Yes, loving your body and soul. Absolutely. It goes deeper than that, y'all. Don't we want to love ourselves completely? And that's the reason why, y'all, I have another topic to address. I'm sitting on it. Let me tell you why. Because I don't do messy. I'm gonna wait and see how far it goes before I even address it. Because I know they are addressing me. Like, if you're gonna address me directly. Okay? Address me directly. I'm gonna wait and see if they're gonna address me directly. And then I might address the content that they're putting out. Because I never address their person, I always address their content. Yes, knowing what your body likes matters a lot. Let's go ahead. We all over 18 over here, right? How can you all operate and be present in your body and not be able to tell a man what feels good to your body? The thing is, it's deeper than the shallow end of the pool. So when you're not addressing and teaching it from that perspective of being present in your body, I feel sorry for the women who are not going to get that learning and that information. Because this means we already have over 70% of women. Y'all can correct me of the statistic. 70% of women who have sex but no orgasm. Why are they doing that? Because they're not present in their bodies. They're too busy up here thinking about the list and the things that they got to accomplish and the things they got to do and making sure that he is happy. And when you're not being taught properly, you don't get the idea of feminine energy in the manner it should be. So you get women who are going to go out into the world and they're not even be able to be in their body when it counts. And that's when you're having sexual relations. Okay? That's the reason why we have so many women that's out of tune and out of touch with their bodies, that don't have good sexual relations. And I think that when I see these femininity instructors and content creators and influencers and experts not touching on that, that gives me pause. Because a pedestal wife will always be in touch with her body and be able to tell what is right and what is wrong. Yes, loving yourself, mind, and body. Yes, it affects how energetic you feel during the day. You feel light and just good. Absolutely. Yes, when you're connected to your femininity, we intuitively know what is right or wrong. Absolutely. Are you married? Absolutely, boo-boo. 21 years. 22 years in August. I've been married since I was 19 years old. I married my husband when he was 21 years old. That's the best. Deeper advice is so scarce now. It is. Exactly. So focus on feminine and masculine. Yes, you need to have a great understanding of healthy feminine energy and healthy masculine energy. You're going to need both in the world that you're going to build for yourself. Remember, your world is going to be your world. It's going to be authentically you. It's going to be for you. You're not trying to build something based off what other people are telling you is correct. Remember, we create the rules for our lives. Same they die within days. Absolutely. I think you asked me that several times. I answered that. Connecting with the body feels great. Yes, it does. That's the best advice. I need to connect with my holistic roots after the inner detox work is had. Refilling the inside with healthy mental and spiritual thoughts and practices is important. Absolutely. Y'all, I'm getting so invested in holistic health because I don't have as much faith in medicine as some people do. And that's probably with my personal dealings with the medical community. I know that some of y'all be like, oh, are you married? Yes, I am. But trust me when I tell you that marriage doesn't mean because someone is married that you should even take their advice. Trust me when I tell you, some people are holding on to their marriage with the string. Some people's marriage is so chaotic you don't want it. I've met some very toxic people married. So that should not be your indicator or the reason why you will follow someone. Now, yes, I'm a provided princess. Yes, I've been a stay-at-home mother and stay-at-home wife for 21 years. Yes, I live the life that most women desire. But even my marriage, you might like some of it and might not like some of the rest. So that is not what you should listen to someone for because they are married. Trust me when I tell you, I've come across some very toxic and dysfunctional marriages, and they have lasted a long time. So even marriages that last a long time may not be the way that be an indicator that you should follow that person. I think you should look at my energy and what I'm saying. Is it resonating? Is it hitting home? Is it something that's going to be valuable to you? That is more important versus if I'm married. And I'm not even saying it to hit out at you. I'm just saying I get that all the time. People ask me that 1,000 times a day. And I just want you to realize that a lot of people are married, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you want their marriage. Some women are taking care of their men. Some women have wifed their husbands. Some women have a trophy husband. Some women are in toxic, dysfunctional marriages. So you should not take advice based off someone being married. I suggest you learn to be present with yourself and trust your intuition. It will never steer you wrong. And maybe your intuition told you to click off and block me. Do it. Do it. Why? Because you're right first. You're right first before I'm right. You're right first. Why? Because maybe at this time you're not ready for this. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe this is the trigger. I don't know. But I can tell you this, you're right. You should be listening to your intuition. What resonates with you first. You know best. You know better than I do for you. So don't take advice from people because they say in their relationships. They in marriages. I see that all over social media. I see a whole bunch of couple relationship advice popping up. And I'm telling you all right now, that's a red flag. I could do a whole video on why you should not take advice from couples. I could do a whole video on that. And I might, it's getting hot in here. I hate to cut up the air any longer. Why? Because then you won't be able to hear me. But I'm hot. And I like to be comfortable. Why do some dysfunctional marriages continue for so long? Because women aren't present in their bodies. They tend to care more about what society says or what their friends and family say. Or maybe they just don't want to let go of the relationship because it isn't serving them. There's so many different reasons. I've met so dysfunctional, toxic marriages, and they have been married as long as I have. And I have been like, why are you with that man? Like, you are unhappy on all fronts. He don't take care of you. You're unhappy in bed. You're unhappy with the way he is a father. You're unhappy the way he doesn't even provide. Like, what's up here? But they will still stay with them. Pastor White, you love getting me in trouble. You love it. You love presenting me with questions that are going to push the envelope and for people to either be questioning my integrity or my authenticity. What are your thoughts on people teaching women how to get a husband but they're not married themselves? How can you teach something that you have not accomplished? You can't. They can only teach you how to get as far as they have gotten themselves. So no, I would not. If that person isn't married, I wouldn't teach marriage. If they're expert at dating, I would teach how to date. I would teach where I'm an expert at. Or I wouldn't say expert, where I have been successful at. I wouldn't teach where I'm not successful at. So no, do I believe that a single woman should be teaching women how to be married? Why? How can you teach something that you haven't accomplished yourself? Like, teach once you have secured your own bag. And I think it's dangerous too. Why? Because if you haven't secured your bag, and pedestal wives, y'all know I've said this. If you haven't secured your bag, don't be on social media bragging about securing a bag. Secure the bag first. Get the ring first. Get the deeds first. Get your name on everything first. Then you come to social media. Don't do it beforehand. That's how y'all lose out on bags. So, it is a red flag when couples are giving advice. So y'all should take that in mind. And I'm gonna give you a reason why. Then I gotta get off here because I really do have some things I need to go. Well, I'm not going far because I ain't dressed, but I do need to go pick up something. All right. The reason why you should never take a couple advice is because most couples are giving advice from being a couple. Women aren't giving advice from when they were a single woman. They're giving advice for being a couple and being in alignment with their husbands. They're not giving advice for what they would do as a single woman. So you should not be getting advice from couples. That is why. And I see it all the time. If you actually go and see that the woman is giving advice based off being a couple and being in alignment with her husband, she's not going to be honest what she would do as a single woman. That's the reason why I would be very careful getting advice from couples. Because this means that she's not going to be able to stand back and give advice from when she was a single woman versus when she's a married woman. A married woman is going to give different advice in a marriage. Oh, babe, I know you're not. Believe me, I ain't taking it away. I'm actually excited that you're just pushing the envelope and having me thinking, give content that's going to have people thinking. I'm not questioning integrity or authenticity. I just want you to address things that we come across while on social media. I know you're not. I absolutely love the fact that you push the envelope and help me think deeper and be able to address these things, because it's going to help women to have a different perspective and perception of things when I address them. So thank you so much. Trust me, I didn't take it any kind of way. I think it's a good conversation to have. But I also think that you all have to be very careful what you're seeing on social media. Y'all have to realize everything that you see on social media, some of it is an illusion. And you have to be able to pay attention. See, this is the reason why. Develop your feminine energy so you don't have to worry about being taken in by an illusion. If you develop your feminine energy, you'll immediately know when you're dealing with someone who's authentic versus someone who's just riding the wave of social norms. And I gotta go because I have to go. And I'll see you all on the next one. You all have a great day. Bye.